What has stayed the same in most cases is that the women just really want the abuse to stop. My name is Ange Brown, and I'm the Executive Director at Genesis House and have been for quite a few years. Genesis House is a shelter for abused women and their kids, and that was our mandate way back from the beginning. We're located in Winkler. We have 5 bedrooms and can accommodate up to 16 people. So I think most people recognize that the shelter provides safety, emergency services, so that crisis bed. You think about coming into shelter and having your basic needs met. I think people don't know that we also provide a lot of non-residential service. So a person doesn't have to come into shelter to receive the supports that we have. And those supports would look like counseling for the woman, counseling for the kids. We have support groups. We do a variety of different types of support groups, and that has been right from the get-go. We've always done the groups. We do them residentially. We do non-res groups. Again, don't have to be in shelter to access those types of supports. Advocacy is such a huge role that we play. Sometimes just having someone to go with you to an appointment, whether that's with Child and Family, whether it's with your lawyer or the police, those are intimidating conversations to have, and often really high stakes conversations where if it's involving your kids, you may emotionally zone out after 1 or 2 sentences in that conversation. Being able to have an advocate with you to hear that conversation at the same time, that really has been a gift. In particular, I think I really like meeting the people, like meeting all the different people that come through our doors. To be able to be part of somebody's journey like that, where you're meeting them at a time where it really is some of their lowest days that they're going to have. Understanding that abuse isn't just physical. We're not waiting for somebody to be choked or punched, but recognizing that that coercive control is such a key piece around the abuse, and that's what will enable a person that's choosing abuse and violence to further abuse their partner or their spouse. And I would say that that's also one of the roles of the shelter is really to keep those conversations going in community, that level of advocacy, ensuring that the partners, everyone that is going to come in contact with the woman that's leaving her abusive partner, to ensure that all those people can understand what position she's in and be supportive. Because if you understand how difficult it is to make the life changes that she's making for herself and her kids, that will be a gift for her, because you will treat her differently. Because I think what we still hear is, why doesn't she just leave, right? And if you really think about all the barriers to leaving, how will I support myself? Where will we live? Will I be safe? Will he actually stop abusing me? You know, people would probably be surprised. In our last year end, 2/3, or actually 1/3 of the people we saw were still being abused by somebody that was an ex-partner. They've moved away from them. So the abuse doesn't stop even after she leaves. So there is so many barriers and challenges that she faces, that helping community understand, helping the other helpers understand, all of those pieces will make the path easier for her as she moves forward. And that is a role that the shelter has been playing in a larger and larger way over the last number of years. I would say probably most folks aren't probably aware that Genesis House was sort of the foundation for the Winkler Family Resource Center. We were seeing families that needed parenting support, so we would use the funds with the moms and kids we had in shelter. But we recognized that if we could collaborate in community and partner with other organizations, whether it was Central Station, Family Resource in other communities, the rec department, and have an early intervention, like if we were seeing families and they were coming to a family resource program, there would be an opportunity to engage some families before it could escalate to a really unhealthy or unsafe situation. I think there's a recognition that domestic violence, family violence, gender-based violence, these things have implications for all aspects of a person's life. So for us to be at those tables, to be supportive, because often we are the first person, the first group that are going to engage with that family. So from there, we know we can't do it all. We need the support of those other helpers. So I think that our position at those tables is really important, because the other people that sit at the tables are the police, our education, our healthcare, our mental health. Those folks recognize that the impact gender-based violence, family violence has in community, which is why we're at those tables. So I'm really happy about that. Having financial donations is really, really important for us, and big corporations that make those donations. Individuals that donate monthly, that think of us every month and do things like that. But also things like Easter baskets that come in at Easter time. At Christmas time, we often have community members that say, we have everything we need, we'd like to adopt a family. Can you give us some very specific needs? The number of food drives, the small businesses that will say each staff bring in a couple of tubes of toothpaste or shampoo. You know, it's really endless, the number of ways that people support us and that they think of us when we don't even have a storefront. I think it really also is heartwarming for our staff to know that while we are not visible in community, they remember us, they think of us, and they think of our families. Project Genesis came up many, many years ago, which was a woman, a teacher, that was teaching a group to create quilts. And so that's what was the start. And the specialness about Project Genesis is that each family that comes to the shelter receives a blanket, all the kids, all the moms, and on the quilts, there is a tag that says "Made with Love." It's just so heartwarming to know that people that don't even know them care about them enough, think about them, and create this blanket, this quilt for them to have as a gift, to wrap themselves with in love, actually. That's what it is. And it's an amazing project. The heart of Genesis House really is the staff. They are amazing, non-judgmental, Wonder Women, really. They should wear capes. They meet each woman where they're at. They recognize that while we've heard many stories, this person in front of them is telling their story most of the time for the first time. So they meet everyone with that same energy, with that same compassion. And I think that really is what makes Genesis House special, is that the staff really, really care for each family that comes through the doors. You're not alone. Please call the 24-hour crisis hotline to speak to a counselor. It's completely confidential, and if you prefer, you can go on our website and use our text option. You're not alone.